Hello everyone and welcome back into this really special requested video. So lately, like a day ago, I received a requested video by Mr. Lorenzo. His username is Lorenzo, then Q and Z or Z. So he requested, and I quote here, "Hey man, can you replicate a Toyota Corolla AE86 with 250 horsepower 4AGE engine that created a year ago? You know, the engine that I made." Alright, so I like the idea, and as we all know, the Toyota the AE86 body is available in automation game. It's not really a modded body. It was given to us by the developers themselves. And I thought to myself, well, I like to make the Toyota the AE86 car, but not with the 250 horsepower the engine from the what do you call it, the initial D enemy. No, I don't want to do that. I want to make the real car, the real engine, the real stock engine, stock brakes, stock tires, diameters, stock suspension. Everything is stock. So I started searching online, and I found out the like 90% of the specs, or maybe 93, and I start to make the car. As you can see, it's not really 100% like the real thing. I tried really hard to do it as close as possible when it comes to the cosmetics of the body, because automation game will not allow you to do 100% fitment for the fixtures, or the game will not allow you to create your own fixtures. So I had to improvise. I had to use whatever I had in the game. So I tried really hard, and I hope that you enjoy the final production, the final product, or the final try of making this car. As you can see, there are still some rough edges here and there. The taillights are not 100% real, and the front is not 100% like the real car, but it's extremely close, and that's what I'm really happy about. Alright, so what we have underneath is I'm not really sure, because I've searched into it. No one has confirmed that it was a monocoque or a ladder, so I made a monocoque chassis. 1987. This is a 1987 model. Monocoque chassis type, corrosion resisting steel, or maybe galvanized steel, I forgot. But we have the same 4AGE engine, the same 128 horsepower, 109 pound-feet of torque engine, the same red line, the same power peak, extremely accurate, the same suspension McPherson strut, and what do they call the rear life axle? Some slight trailing arms, maybe, I forgot, but it's the same thing. The same sway bar thickness, the same spring rate, the same camber settings, the same brake, the same discs, the same gearbox, the same gearbox ratios, and of course the same final drive ratios. And what we have here are the same stock tires, the 185 14-inch rims, or to be exact 185/60R14. That's the original size. Pop-up headlamps, as you can see, but unfortunately they are fixed in automation game. You can't actually open them and close them. Maybe in future updates, but so far they are open all the time. Unfortunately, I cannot find some real period correct Japanese or JDM rims, so I improvised and I've chosen these. I've tried really hard to to replicate like the wipers, the exhaust, and all of the black trim. This was very hard, replicating the black trim, but I managed to do it. The same yellow fog lights, the same indicators, hopefully. Yeah, so I really hope that you enjoy the video. And we have the same engine, the same specs, so we will be seeing how this thing will actually perform. This engine is running on 91 octane fuel, 128 horsepower, and 109 pound-feet of torque. Yep. So just before I start with everything, I received a complaint 2 days ago about the volume of the game. I'm not gonna edit this thing out, no. I would love you guys to see like basically whatever I do. So let's set the master volume to 80%, so everything should be cool. Alright, so no ABS, no power steering. The car weighs only 1,000 kilograms, exactly 1,000 kilograms. I promise you 1,000 exactly. And the weight distribution is 52% to the front and 48% to the rear. I tried really hard to go 50-50, but yeah, that's the closest thing that I got. Safety standard 80s, standard interior, standard entertainment cassette, entertainment unit, limited slip differential, manual 5 gears manual gearbox, standard hard long life tires, tires, and everything is basically standard. So let's see what's what. So this thing is not a real powerhouse. The power peaks at 6,600 RPM, so I'm gonna shift a little bit earlier than in the RPM limit. This thing loves to oversteer. Like, look, it just wants to oversteer. This thing just loves to be sliding to slide around. And I've been reading a lot of the forums, a lot of comments from owners of the oh my god, yeah, as you can see, I need to learn how to control it. So I've been reading a lot of the comments about the weaknesses of this car, which is a lot of understeer when you arrive to a corner without any kind of power, and when you touch the throttle, tons of oversteer. So this thing is a pretty dangerous car. As you can see, 6,600 is the power peak, so I'm going to shift nearly close to it. It's not really a powerhouse. It will not, fly 300 kilometers per hour or something. No, I mean, it can barely reach 200. Yeah, the 0 to 100 is 8.9 seconds or 9 seconds, like the real car, and that was disappointing. I mean, I always thought of the AE86 to be a quick car, but when I was reading the specs, yeah, it was a little disappointing, because I mean, everything about this car is pretty weak. I mean, the tires are very normal, very thin, 185 only. The engine is actually a good engine, but very low on power. Yes, it's a powerhouse when you want to tune it, but on its stock form, it's really boring. The suspension is really outdated, really old. I was reading the comments about the drivability. People are, talking about how you need to learn how to brake with this thing, because if you use a little extra hard touch on the brake pedal, you will lock the wheels easily. And that is not really safe. So this car is a legendary because I think of the enemy or the initial D, but as a car it was rubbish, actually, to be honest with you. As a real car, there was actually a lot of rubbish in it, a lot of bad specs with it. But I think we love this thing because of course the initial D, 250 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, drift machine, yeah. But as a car to own, no. I prefer Skylines, I prefer Supras, but this thing, it's a legendary because of the enemy, not because of its good drivability. And it's not really an economical car too. This thing actually can do like 23-25 miles per gallon if you are really gentle with it. It's not also an economical car. And it's not a performance car. I don't know what this car is for, actually. Wow, 50% of braking, and you will lock the wheels easily. So this thing is pretty fun to drive, like on a track, because it will oversteer, like usually. It will oversteer occasionally, but it's not actually bad to drive. If you learn how to drive it, in an enthusiastic way, you can actually drive it pretty nicely. But first time driving this thing, you need to be really careful. because it's 80s technology, 80s brakes, 80s engine, 80s gearbox. Everything is about this car is 1980s. So yeah, late 80s of course, but still 80s. No aerodynamics, pretty boxy shape, but this car is very favorable and very respected by car enthusiasts. And of course that is because the initial D, and because this car was used in a lot of motorsport racing, like drift events, racing events, and tuners they extremely love to play with the 4AGE engine, turbocharging it, making it, you know, a beast using ITBs, you know, individual throttle bodies. So yeah, everyone loves this car, loves to look at it, loves to seeing it in action, but to own it, no. I think that's my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that my current daily driving car is a Bugatti. No, of course not. I'm driving a regular 97 Crown Vic, open differential, no ABS, nothing to be safe in it. But yeah, I was looking at some videos on YouTube. People are, you know, cold starting the 86, showing off the engine. That is really cool. I like these videos so much, but yeah, not really my type. I prefer Skylines, Supras, Mitsubishi 3000 GT. Yeah, but I love to look at this. No, why not? And this thing can do pretty nice donuts too. I hope that you enjoyed the video, guys. This was the 1987, the AE86 Toyota Corolla, or as they call it, the Sprinter Trueno, whatever they call it. Yeah, so let's go to the handling circuit and see how this thing will perform. Yeah. Because tonight, hopefully tonight, I will be judging the top 10 cars that has passed the mid-engine rear-wheel drive challenge tonight, hopefully. As you can see, this thing loves to oversteer. I mean, a gentle touch on the throttle and this thing wants to do a skid easy. Alright, so this is the handling circuit. Let's see how this thing will perform. No ABS, no power steering, a lot of oversteer. And the suspension, actually, because I followed the Toyota original specs on the suspension, yes, everything is original. I'm not kidding. The spring rate, the sway bar thickness, the camber, the dampers, everything was set according to Toyota's, you know, original specs. And actually, it managed to understeer. I mean, the graph in automation game, it was pointed to understeer, like 92% on sportiness and 96% on drivability, which is really cool for drivability. And as you can see, this thing loves to oversteer. How is that possible? Maybe because of the tires, maybe because they are less grippy, but it's really I mean, as you can see, yes, I'm not a drifter. I'm not saying like I'm a pro drifter. No, I don't know actually how to drift with a rear-wheel drive car in BeamNG.Drive. I've never tried it. I love to drift with all-wheel drive, yes, but with rear-wheel drive, you need to be really gentle with the throttle. I'm trying really hard to make it to grip, but this ship has sailed, so I apologize for talking too much, but I'm trying to explain the things that I'm actually, you know, causing a lot of the problems that I'm facing here. I'm trying really hard to control it, but I'm using a variable controller. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine driving this thing with a keyboard? It would be impossible to drive with a keyboard. Impossible. It's really hard to control, but you can actually control it nicely if you are using the controller, you know, gently. Not much, you know, not much crazy work, but so yeah, you need to be really careful. The throttle, the braking, of course, because as you can see, yeah. And the engine is actually, to be honest with you, 128 horsepower. It's really gutless. I mean, it's perfect for this weight, 1000 kilograms, but it's really low on power. And I don't know what Toyota was thinking about when they actually made the power to peak at 6,600 RPM, right? And the what do you call the red line to be at 7,400. So what's the point of all this extra RPM? Why do you want to rev the engine when the engine can only stop producing power at 6,600? So I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. What do you think about this replica? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think about the Toyota, the AE86 in general? What do you think about it? Do you like the whole idea of it? Have you ever driven one? If you have driven one before, I would love to know your experience in the comment section, or maybe on Discord. I would love to know your experience. What do you think about it? So that's pretty much it, my friends. I hope that you enjoy the video. So what do you think? Should we actually go somewhere else? No, I think let's end it here with some donuts. So as you can see, the car looks, as I mentioned before, pretty close to the real one. Not 100%, but maybe let's say 92%, close. Because automation game will not allow me to go any further than this. I mean, I tried really hard and doing some crazy things to to make this thing work, but I hope that you like it. As you can see, the fuel filter cap is here, the badging in the back, as you can see, the Apex twin cam EFI should be 16, not EFI, but I had to improvise. The Trueno, whatever the name of it. I think the badge is wrong. I think I made a little wrong. The badge is a little bit wrong, but that's actually on purpose because of legal reasons. I can't actually make a real replica because sometimes YouTube or Toyota will tell me don't do that, you don't have the right. So no Toyota badges, no real Trueno badges. So thank you so much guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much Mr. I forgot, Mr. Leonardo, Mr. Lorenzo, for your amazing request. So I hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button, get subscribed, and share the video if you want to share it. And of course, watch my previous videos because we have made some cool replicas in the past. Engines, crazy engines, thousands and thousands of horsepower, drift machines, and crashes and everything. Yes, we went really crazy. So watch my previous videos, get subscribed, and push that notification bell button so you can get a notification each time I release a new video. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for tonight's result video for the mid-engine rear-wheel drive challenge. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now, my friends.